Everything's fitting on it now. Got it. I got everything nice and snug. This is a 17-year-old door. It's nice there. Now I'm going to take my rasp and I'm going to go up there, and because that soffit's up there, luckily for me, there's enough room to do some work up there. I can find my rasp. So I always carry my rasp in my nail bag. You got to get one of these. And the funny thing is, if you buy this at the store, usually you can buy them separate, or you can buy it in a set. You get this, you get a couple handles, you get different files, and you can almost buy a whole set of these, the files and stuff, and it comes with one of these for almost the same price as this. So even though I don't really use the other files, I got the whole set, and I end up basically using this, and I've got all these other files in case I ever need them. I've got them. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm just going to look up there and see what's going on. Maybe clean that edge up. I could have done that with the door down. Almost feels like the door's at a slight angle. I'm using my rough side first. I can't really see what I'm doing up there. I don't want to go all the way through with my rough, because then I could chip off the back side. So I've got to do half this way, and then I can turn around and do the smooth and do the rough on the edge, or I can do the flat side. That's just going to clean up the outside of the door. That's the side you see. Now I can do the back just a little bit. It looked like it was actually really good up there. If anything, it's just missing by maybe a 1/16 of an inch. It's never going to get any higher, right? Anything later on, it's going to sag. I'm just going to clean off this edge. This door skin is probably 1/8 of an inch. If I just do that, see, I'm not going all the way through. If I went all the way through, I could flake that off, especially if this is a wood veneer, like a stained gray door with wood veneer. You go, and then you clip the edge, and you've got a sliver here that's loose, and you're like, oops. Well, that's what Joe meant. But this is a paint grade type door. It's like MDF solid fake wood material. If I were to go across, chances are it's not going to flake like that. But I still try to be aware of it. I'm using the rough. Now I can finish it off with the smooth. Clean off that edge. Feel it with my fingers. And it looks good. Almost feels like there's something. They're not going to take the door down again. Okay? I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. I am thinking we are done with this door. The only one thing I didn't check was, usually when I'm working on the doors, I'll check and make sure all the screws are not spinning or something. I worked on this hinge and the one down below, but I didn't check these. They're tight, and the top one, I don't think I checked the top one. Because if there's any screws that are just spinning, now's the time for me to fix it. Because I've got extra screws. Okay, but those are good too. The only other thing I'm going to look at on this door is when I'm closing it. I'm going to see if the strike plate is adjusted. See if if I push on the door, hear that? I do. It does have a slight spring to it because I've been adjusting these and everything. So if I let go of the door, it's pulling against here, so it doesn't do that. But I can get that better. There's a tab on the inside of there. You've been watching my videos, you've seen them. And this one happens to have it with a little groove in the tab. I'm just putting it in there. I'm bending that out at an angle. That lessens the gap between the latch. See there? Look, I'm pushing on that. I'm liking that. I tell people not to tap on that because you might put a little mark in there. I almost did what I told people not to do. I'm trying to lessen that just a little bit. If you go out too far, and if you really want to push that back in, the best way to do it is take the strike plate off, take your pliers, bend it just a little bit, and then start over, or hope that you get it that time, or start bending it again. On some of them, there's not a groove in there, so if it's just a tab, I couldn't have done that. I would have had to pull this out, get my pliers out, pull this out, get the tab, hold it, bend on it, put it back in, hope that I did it just right, screw it back in. If it still chatters, I pull it out again. Sometimes I pulled out strike plates 2 and 3 times to get that adjusted. So I like the ones that have the tab. There's a little notch where you can put your screwdriver in there. Okay? Did you not watch my other video? I showed you in detail. All right, I'll show you. I'll get it close up here. Show you. See this tab? See the groove in there? That's where I put the screwdriver. And then I can pull that tab out properly, but I can't push it back in. Some don't have that groove in the tab. And I used to take a screwdriver and try to wedge underneath it and bend it out and bend the top out. You could push it out a little bit, but that gets all funky. It's best to take it out. Do it with a pair of pliers when you don't have that little notch in the tab. Follow? Okay. Now, I'll put you back on the pedestal. I'm going to close this door. I'm liking that. Checked all that. And I can tap these pins in. And, you know, I'm going to leave that pin out like that because there's another video I'm going to do, believe it or not. Yeah, it's all about making extra videos. And I'm going to clean off all the black carbon stuff. This door is a mess. There's stuff up here. I've got my finger marks on it. This, as I set this down on the carpet, this kind of went, so you see the marks on here. I'm not going to wipe it off now because I'll get it all over my nice clean rag, and I'm going to end up using simple green for that. I'm going to use a sponge. I'm going to use some water and all that. So why mess up my rag for right now? Because see, there's some black here. There's some fingerprints up in here. See that up in there? Look up there. There's some there. All along here. All that stuff's got to be cleaned off. Because I lifted the door, I can see where my fingerprints are. Right there. There's probably going to be, might be some on the side of the door somewhere. Yeah, see? Right there. Where I worked on that. And there's some on the edge of the door jamb. See if along there. Up there, there's some. On the back side of the hinge, there's some. And I'm going to make an entire video of that because there's a trick. Well, it's not really a trick, but it's probably something that you wouldn't even have thought of doing. But that's not going to be on this one. See, here's some on the back side of the door. Now, if I wasn't painting these doors, you wipe all this stuff off. You still want to do that. You can do all that stuff now, get it all nice and clean, even when you're not ready to paint. But, you know, can you imagine if I just had the paint? Oh yeah, go ahead and paint. because he's going to paint all these doors up in place. He's gonna paint everything. But do I want him painting off of that? And do I want him being the responsible person on cleaning these doors for me? He's not. You know, I'm paying him to clean or paint the doors. I'm not paying him extra to clean all the doors and everything. And he's not going to spend that much time on it. And then the paint's not going to stick to all that stuff. And then you're going to have to do 2 coats over certain areas. It's just a mess. So I'm gonna get them all clean. But if you weren't painting your doors, you still might want to watch that video, because I've got a couple things in store for you on how I'm going to do that and what I'm going to do even after that. I haven't even talked about what I'm going to do to those hinge pins, and it will fix that stuff from happening. If I just clean this off right now, a year down the road, I'm still going to have those marks. Okay? It's just the nature of the beast. Opening, closing, opening, closing, opening, closing. Any carbon stuff that's on the inside of this, from the hinge pin rubbing on the inside of the hinge knuckles and stuff, eventually I'm going to get more of that stuff. Now, how am I going to fix that? I've got a way to do that, and I know you're going to like it, so keep watching my videos. Look for that next time.